Perception is your lens through which you see life, through which you see everyone else outside of you in your environment, relationships, parents, employers, friendships. And most importantly, it's the way you view yourself in terms of your abilities, your shortcomings, and your capabilities. Because ultimately, that view of self is what is going to bring you to every place where you want to go, or keep you away from everything that you want in your life. You have to be able to know your triggers, know your abilities, know those things that are out of your control, so that you don't waste time endlessly trying to fix things that are unfixable. Creating an awareness around anything in your life is linked to an enlightening situation, like you've seen the light in relation to that issue or that process or outcome. You've seen the light in relation to how limiting that thing was for you, how your behavior may have contributed to that thing or failed to contribute positively to it. And so awareness is really significant as a starting point of any change in your life. Until you've gained that enlightenment or awareness, you're either going to be taking the wrong action or taking the right action at the wrong time, or any other possibility. You're possibly going to minimize your worth, to ignore your triggers and limitations and the thing that is contributing negatively to you. You dismiss the opportunities and miss the people who are there for you rightfully, and follow those that are misleading you, whether consciously or unconsciously. So awareness and enlightenment is very broad, starting from your ability to understand yourself, to motivate yourself, to push and challenge yourself, to clarify what you actually want. Because sometimes we don't know what we want for sure. We don't know where the pain is, where the anxiety is, why we feel like we are doing everything and we are happy and achieving, but still miserable. You have to create an awareness around those feelings, those emotions, those relationships. Starting with knowing you enough, knowing what you want enough, then knowing how to get it. You have to acknowledge that you don't have the answers. And that's also an awareness, because sometimes we are too intelligent for our own good. We dismiss help, we fail to ask, we fail to learn, because we think we know it all. Even when we are struggling and drowning, and we fail to own up, we fail to be enlightened around our own shortcomings. So here are a few tips that will help you on your quest for change. What is change? Change requires you to see things differently, do things differently, and experience things differently. And one has to happen for the other to be experienced. Because if you keep doing the same thing and seeing things exactly the way you've always seen them, the change in terms of experience and outcome in your life and relationships and everything else will never come. And the first thing that you really need to do is create a self-awareness, a deeper understanding of who you are and the values and beliefs and thoughts that define you. Are you most likely to see yourself as a hardworking person, go-getter, the one who doesn't give up until they have what they want? Do you see yourself as a loser or a victim or someone who suffers persistently in the hands of other people? Are you a believer, a religious person? Do you believe in God or the people around you or the laws of the universe? Whoever you are and however you manage those beliefs and core values will determine how you approach life, how you approach solutions, and how you approach the opportunities that are presented in your life. So it's really important to start with that self-awareness, unapologetically look into yourself and see what is positive and what is negative and what is holding you back. Because until you identify and acknowledge those things, you cannot go into the next step, which is the ability to address what is limiting and to enhance what is positive based on those core values and beliefs in your life. Being able to dismiss logical thinking and logical expectations will also help you to move forward in life, because sometimes logic holds us back. Logic is that thing that tells you that they were wrong and therefore they deserve to be punished. It's that thing that tells you that you must not invest millions in a project whose outcome you don't yet know. Because you have to, like they say, play the fool and run a mile to a destination whose existence you don't yet know. And that sometimes holds us back, because every alarm bell and every logical warning is telling us that we don't have the skills and we don't have the energy and we don't have the ability to make those big goals come true. And therefore, because we are intelligent, logical, thinking human beings, we listen to the voice of logic, and then we expect them to apologize and make it right because they did us wrong. And we follow all those logical steps that don't often take us to the right locations of life, which are the quest for peace and happiness and a life of gratitude that we must follow even when we are hurting and dismissed and discriminated upon. So logic sometimes is not our friend, and that often holds us back as we fail to color outside the lines, fail to take the initiative, and fail to walk away from those people who are clearly hurting us or holding us back just because of those relationships and promises and every logical value that life presents us against all the illogical things that we have to go against to succeed in those areas. So this actually means that we have to embrace that possibility of failure and mistake and keep walking. That we have to visualize and have an imagination that enables us to see those things and live that life in our minds before it comes true in our lives, so that we can then trust that mental image that we have created and trust in our own ability to see those things to the end, one step at a time. And that amount of trust only comes from an internal place of self-belief. Self-belief which tells you that you can do this thing based on you tapping into knowledge of times that you've come through for yourself before. Based on you believing in some skills that you think you have in you to give. Self-esteem is that link that you need to move you from the internal to the external, because it's that quiet voice or force inside of you that tells you that even on a rough day, you can do something. You can stand up and keep walking again. And that can only come from an internal place of believing something. Your power, your work ethic, your tolerance, your perseverance, and something that makes you understand that you have it to give for that external demand, whether it be a relationship, an employment, or parenting. You have to bring something from inside of you to work for you in the outside world. And that becomes courage or confidence. It has to come from inside, because only you can carry that light, that force, that dedication that will drive you over the mountains and through the valleys of challenges that life puts in your way. We all want change in our lives, but very few of us do what is necessary to impact that change. And the good news is that as much as we create the biggest problems in our lives, whether by action or inaction, we also possess the power to create the biggest solutions in our lives. And the only way that can really happen is a clear awareness of your core beliefs and values, and whether those are standing in your way to those solutions or actually helping you on your path to acquiring those things that you desire.